Hello everybody and welcome back to the Ultimate Minecraft Iceberg. It's been a while since my last video and I know I keep doing this thing where I'll upload a bunch of videos and have a good schedule going and then just completely ruin that. But since these videos take a lot longer, I'm putting a lot more time in them, taking a lot more time to write the script out and thus a lot more time to make the voiceover a lot better. I feel like my last voiceovers have been quite weak, so I kind of wanted to fix them up a little bit and make just a genuinely better video. I don't want to waste your guys' time, so I'm going to get over a little announcement and then we're going to move on to the first topic as fast as we can. Today's video goes over layer 2 of the iceberg and is filled with, in my opinion, more original ideas than the original one. The first part kind of went over more mainstream topics. This one kind of goes over a little less mainstream topics, but you might still know a lot of them. But before the video does start, to help support my channel, a like and a comment would be hella appreciated, and if you do enjoy the video, a subscribe would also be appreciated. YouTube does not like me. As you can tell, the last video, its reach did not go very far with less than 2,000 impressions. Because of this, it would help if you did leave a like, a comment, and something to get engaging with the algorithm. Anyways, sit back, relax, play your favorite game in the background as we move on to our first topic, the Christmas chest. The Christmas chest is actually just a normal chest. It's just its textures have been swapped on the December 24th and 25th. The reason for this is, well, Christmas theme. It just looks like a Christmas present. Now, how do they do this? How does it not automatically show you getting an update when you start in Minecraft? Well, the texture is actually already in the game. If you switch your computer's clock to the December 24th, I don't know why I keep saying it like that, to December 24th or December 25th, it will automatically appear as the Christmas chest. It doesn't change anything about it except simply the fact that it looks like a present. Data packs. Now, if you're like me and you started playing Minecraft in 2010, you definitely know what mods are. Like, these don't even come up on the list because you know what a mod is. But if you stop playing in probably the late 2010s, you probably don't know what a data pack is. Now, there's probably a lot more people who know what a data pack is, but a data pack is not a mod. It's not vanilla, but it's not a mod either. Pretty much what it does is it adds data to the game, allowing you to add things like custom biomes, custom terrain, new dimensions, and new items. But it doesn't exactly work like a mod. I don't know exactly how it works. There's tons of videos that go over detailed explanations on how data pack works. So if you want to watch those, I will try to get some in the comments or the description of this video. Behavior packs. Next up, we have behavior packs, which, unlike data packs, I've literally never really cared about. The reason because of this is while they do have a cool concept of allowing you to change mobs' appearance and their actions, how they appear and behave towards players, the problem with this is it only exists on the Bedrock version of the game. What does this mean? This pretty much means that you have to spend mine coins, which we'll kind of get into later in the iceberg, in order to buy these maps or buy these behavior packs in order to access the content. Because of this, these do not exist on the Java version of the game, and they're pretty much useless everywhere else. Resource packs. Yes. Le resource pack, formerly known as texture packs. I don't know why. I guess I understand why they call them texture or resource packs now. Resource packs allow you to change sounds, textures, languages, and even the end poem of Minecraft. If we're talking about texture packs, they've been in the game all the way since alpha. But if we're talking about current resource packs, they've been in the game since update 1.6. Resource packs usually add a ton of immersion to the game and to the world and character that you're trying to build. So because Minecraft is a very single player oriented game, the type of resource pack will pretty much impact the way you play your world, whether you want to play a medieval style game or you want to play a cartoony looking Lego type shit. It's also very common that a lot of people will pair mods or their mod packs up with a cool looking resource pack to give it a little bit of immersion. Pre 1.0. Moving on to our first somewhat subliminal topic, we have pre 1.0. And I'm an idiot, so I'm going to assume that pre 1.0 equals beta in Minecraft of the game. There's actually not a lot to say about this other than beta existing right before release, alpha existed before beta, and then you had things like indev and then infdev, which was pretty much the OG, we're talking, well, I can't say the name of it because it comes up later on the list, but the OG Minecraft. So we kind of get into it. The only difference is a lot of people prefer the beta and sometimes even the alpha versions of Minecraft. While I personally think 1.0 is not that bad of an update, there's tons of people who disagree with me. I think a modded beta experience is kind of where it's at. And there's tons of different mod packs that give you that experience of what beta would be like, or what Minecraft would be like if beta had not changed, or if the release of Minecraft had not changed so much with the game. Name tag Easter eggs. Moving on from something that we probably know a little bit about to something a little bit more common in the Minecraft community, we have name tag Easter eggs. And what are these? So if you put a name tag in an anvil, just like any item in the game, you're able to change the name of it. Now, there are currently 5 different name tag Easter eggs in the game that change up how it works. So if you name a sheep Jeb underscore, it'll make the sheep rainbow color. It will just constantly switch through colors with a little effect going on. If you do shear the sheep, it will be the actual color of the sheep. So if it was a white sheep and you shear it, it will be a white wool. But you know how it be. If you name any mob in the game Dinnerborn or Grub, I don't know how you fuck. If you name any mob in the game Dinnerbone or Grub, it will flip upside down. And fun fact, before Bedrock of the Bedrock edition of the game, we had Windows 10 edition. And Windows 10 edition, if you named your character Dinnerbone or Grum, it would actually flip your character upside down. This didn't actually change the way the game was played. It was just a little Easter egg. This was fixed right after. There's another one that has to do, it's right here. Another one that also turns a bunny into the same looking bunny of a fan of Minecraft who I think lost their bunny. So just a little fun fact. The Farlands. To make things simple, the Farlands exist in 3 different categories, but they all pretty much ultimately end up together with the same broken result of the game. Pretty much what happens with the Farlands is if you go in the beta versions or alpha versions of Minecraft, if you go too far out, this is hundreds of blocks out, or thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of blocks out. If you go too far out, you'll start noticing terrain looking a little different. You'll notice a giant wall of just broken everything. And this was before beta 1.8. After beta 1.8, this was then fixed to the current system, which we'll get on to later into the Iceberg. And these giant formations, these giant walls of dirt and stone, it's like some flat earth ice wall, Antarctica ice wall bullshit. And if that's not weird enough, by the time you get to this point, you'll notice your game is just fucking breaking. Like it's stuttering and your character is flying all over the place. It's weird. Things are becoming weird, and that's the reason they add something later on in the list that we'll get onto. Mushroom Island. Now, this isn't in the script, but I was really sure, at least when I was a kid, I always called this Mushroom Island because of a mob that's on this island. And pretty much what a Mushroom Island is it's an island surrounded by deep ocean, and it's made up of a block called mycelium, which is a dead purplish like block, and it has a strange mob that can only be found on this island known as a mushroom, which is a white and red cow that has mushrooms growing out of it. And if you, instead of milking it, if you have a bowl, you can get mushroom soup from it. Yeah, these mushroom islands are pretty dumb. They're not very good because they're made up of mushrooms and this mycelium. But one cool property about it is hostile mobs just can't spawn there. So if you're spawning into this world, it actually might somewhat be a better option for you to make your base somewhere on that island because you don't have to worry about mobs ever spawning there. Wither paintings. Paintings are a great way to add immersion to your house because paintings exist in real life. Now, there is a strange painting that makes people get a little spooked out, and that's simply just a picture of the Wither. Now, there's really nothing else to go on this. I think the reason this is on the list is because there's a lot of hidden lore in Minecraft, and I feel like this is trying to say, hey, there's something in this game that would make no sense lore-wise that would be painted. Why is there a painting with a Wither on it? If Wither, hasn't been spawned before, or nobody knows of his existence, or it's this horrible thing. It's like, why is there a painting of it? we don't know. It could be a lore reason, or it simply couldn't be, and it could just be for looks. Now, there's really not much other to say about this than the fact that it was an original painting added by Jens Morgenstern, which, yeah, this is Jens. You know Jens. Mobs on chiseled blocks. Another topic that could potentially lead to some lore is mobs being chiseled on the sandstone, redstone, polished blackstone, nether bricks, and finally deep slate. The sandstone has the creeper's face, redstone has the wither's face, polished blackstone has a piglin snout, nether bricks have a wither skeleton, and last but not least is deep slate with a warden on it. Again, this could be for lore reasons, or it could just be, hey, we have these decoration blocks and these are simply for decorations. Please don't add any lore to this game. That's all. I don't know the reason, but that is what we know of it. Enchantment table language. Now, I know we call it enchantment table language, but it's actually not from Minecraft, and the enchantment table isn't the origin of this language. The enchantment table language didn't actually come from Minecraft. It came from something called the Commander Keen series, which is by id Software. Now, there's really not much to say about this other than they pretty much make up the different types of enchantments you can get in the game, whether that be fire aspect, sharpness, protection, or any of things. And it is a readable language from what I know, but I mean, do you really want to learn this just for a game? I mean, there's people who do it, even though it automatically translates if you hover your mouse over the system. It's just in the game for fun, and it is a really cool Easter egg. Spin-offs. Now, I'm dumb. So when I hear spin-offs, I'm assuming, and this is what I assume it's the officially made ones or officially licensed ones. Minecraft has a few different spin-offs, with the first being Minecraft Story Mode, made all the way back in October 2015 by Telltale Games. Now, if you've never played a Telltale game before, pretty much it's a story-based game with not a lot of actual gameplay and not a lot of action. It's more of a story-driven experience. This was the first time we really saw Minecraft out of Minecraft. You know, we had Minecraft and we had animations, but this was the first officially licensed story-driven game that takes place in the Minecraft universe. Obviously, before or after, we don't really know. All we know is it takes place somewhere in the universe of Minecraft. Now, I never actually got to play this game, sadly, and I might go and play it someday because I've heard it's really good. And when I was a kid, I did look at it every now and then, but I was always confused because I didn't understand how Telltale Games worked, because, you know, you gotta remember 2015, I was maybe 10 years old, maybe 11 years old. So it's like, I had no clue what was going on at this time. And yeah, it's something I would like to try. Maybe I'll try it out for the channel. Who knows? Next, we have the first official spin-off by Mojang directly. We have Minecraft Dungeons. And before we actually get into Minecraft Dungeons, we can talk about Minecraft Earth, which I think came out before Minecraft Dungeons. Minecraft Earth was a Pokemon Go style, like, not ARG. We had like an augmented reality type game that sadly failed really hard. It had a really cool concept of allowing people to build pretty much anywhere in the world, and it would allow you to check out people's builds. You collected blocks the same way you collected Pokemon in Pokemon Go. It had a really cool concept, but sadly it did. I think it did do pretty popular, but I think the gameplay loop wasn't as fermented as we had with Pokemon Go. So it died off a lot faster, which it then shut down in, I think, 2018 or 2019, only 1 or 2 years after the initial release date. But next month, we have Minecraft Dungeons, which is, in my opinion, an extremely fun dungeon crawler, and in my opinion, still goes under the radar of a ton of different people. I think it does good what, we'll talk about Minecraft Legends after this, but I think what it does good is what Minecraft Legends does bad. If you like dungeon crawlers, you'll like the game. If you're a kid, you'll like the game. They go together because a lot of kids, you know, I wouldn't say when I was 8 or 9 years old, I wouldn't say I was specifically a FPS player or specifically a Minecraft player. I would consistently play different games. Now that I'm 19 years old, I'm turning 20 in, you know, a few months, I can easily say, hey, I personally am really good at FPS games. I would consider myself an FPS gamer. I also love MMOs and stuff like that. So we have a lot of different things. Now, this game is actually fully completed. All the DLCs are done. If you do want to get into the game, I really recommend playing with a friend, play with a buddy or two. It's a really good experience. But now we move on to Minecraft Legends, which is the failed RTS style like game from Mojang Studios. Now, what happened with Minecraft Legends, I won't go into this video just because I do kind of want to make a video about that like entirely, but pretty much, like I said before, what Minecraft Dungeons did good with balancing the two things. A kid can play the game and a master of dungeon crawlers can play the game. It doesn't matter who you are, as long as you're having fun, the game is fun. Minecraft Legends kind of messed up because they didn't go too hardcore on the RTS, and at the same time, kids who played the game, you know, RTS is an extremely hard to get in genre of gaming. Even I am really bad at them. I love RTS games, but am I bad at them? Hell yes. Imagine a 9-year-old kid wanting to play it and then getting destroyed. They're not going to want to play it. But then again, the game's too easy for somebody who's an RTS fanatic. So it kind of fell off within a first month, and I think it only averages around 300 players to this date. I've heard from a lot of people that it wasn't actually that bad and it just got a little bit boring, but after only a week it kind of fell down, so I'll never know. Amplified. Now for the first thing on the list I literally have never heard of. We have Amplified, and what this means is this pretty much means amplified worlds. Amplified worlds are a world type in Minecraft that pretty much change the biomes, the nether, the overworld, and the end, to make structures a lot taller, to make structures a lot lower, and to pretty much add a giant boom to the game. Now, this video that I'm recording, and you can see the gameplay, it's been up this entire time, it cannot do how good this looks on like with mods installed. So I really recommend, if you have a good enough PC, to open up Minecraft Amplified Worlds and try it out for yourself, because this video cannot show you everything that's just awesome about this. I didn't know this existed before. I knew you could change world types. I didn't know it looked this good. But if you want to see some crazy structures, then Amplified Worlds is the way to go. Programmer art. This is one I have to go off script about because I didn't write it in. I completely forgot about this, and programmer art can be one of two things, and I have what I think it is written down, but I will have what it could also be in order to, if I'm wrong, instead of someone saying, hey, you're wrong, you dumbass, you can just have this other thing. So we're gonna go in. Programmer art pretty much refers to the art of Minecraft, and the way I interpreted this and the way I found it online is the official art style of Minecraft, aka the default texture pack of the game, the default resource packs. So the textures, blocks, and overall look and feel of the game is the programmer art. The programmers being obviously the people making the art, they're the artist, and then the art being the textures of the game. And the reason I kind of thought of this up is because while we have concept art, I don't think programmers made concept art. It just doesn't seem viable that a programmer would also be really fucking good at drawing like this or this. So when I think of programmer art, I think of the actual textures of the game, which is something that they are actually trained to do. Like I said, on the contrary, it could also be meaning the concept art of the game, which I've kind of gone into a little bit on this channel already. But here's some concept art from Minecraft, just in case this is what it is. And here's some what I think programmer art is. Here's some of the textures of Minecraft, so you can get a look and feel of what Minecraft's art style actually is. Tutorial worlds. Yes, Bombleclat. We have the OG Minecraft PS3 and Xbox 360 tutorial worlds. Now, when I was like 10 years old, getting on Minecraft for the first time, on my Xbox 360, I was playing the demo, and on the demo, you could only play tutorial world for, I think it was 20 minutes, and it was the most fun I've ever had. Now, they're actually very controversial, and now they're not anymore. I shouldn't say that. They're not as controversial anymore, but when I was a kid, they were very controversial. The reason because of this is because Minecraft was known as you go in and you experience it. There was no tutorials in Minecraft, and that's what made it fun. The tutorial of the Minecraft actually was the advancement system. Punch a tree, eat it, open your inventory. But on Xbox, they couldn't really get away with doing that. So they made a tutorial world. And this tutorial world, in my opinion, is one of the best tutorial worlds ever. Because what it did is it didn't hold the hand of the child. It gave them a push. It said, hey, punch a tree. Hey, place those blocks there. Hey, make a crafting table. 3 things. They taught you to mine, they taught you how to craft, and they taught you how to explore. They taught you all three of those things without making you take up 10, 20 minutes. And not only that, but you could choose to just ignore them. You could choose to just not go to the tutorial world of the game. That's what made it good. And not only that, but it showed you what a powerful builder could do in Minecraft. Now, I'm showing you gameplay of one of the tutorial worlds, and just in the beginning, it did not look very good. The builds were very bland, they were very basic, but as time got on, these builds got more and more beautiful and more perfect. And in my opinion, if you go back, if you ever have time and you ever want to see what it was like to play these tutorial worlds, download a map from a map website, install it into your Java, and try it out. It's not going to be the same experience, but you'll be able to see how it was like for a lot of kids playing on Xbox for the first time. It's pretty damn close to that same exact experience. Curing zombie villagers. When a zombie villager is attacked, it has a chance to become a zombie villager. And I don't know what I just said there. When a zombie attacks a villager, it has a chance to become a zombie villager. When this happens, if you block it off from sunlight, because it will die in sunlight just like a normal zombie, and you give it a golden apple and a potion of weakness, and you wait a little bit of time, it will cure that villager. And when it cures that villager, the villager is always going to be happy. So he gives you discounts. So what a lot of people do is do that and then turn it into a librarian. When it turns it into a librarian, people abuse the system of getting mending books, getting the best enchantments you can get through books. People will do that. And they'll also make farms and the such. But that's pretty much all that comes down to curing zombie villagers. It just pretty much allows players to get dirt cheap books and get overpowered really quickly in the early game of Minecraft. Original Minecraft name. Back in the dark times, when I was a kid, back in the dark times, the name of the game was actually Cave Game. And funny enough, caves weren't even added in the game. When it was called Cave Game, there was no mining, there was no I think there were mining. There was no crafting, and there were no caves. It was flat grass, flat dirt, flat cobblestone, whatever. There was no caves or no mining. Even when it was called Minecraft, I don't even think there was crafting in the game. And here's the thing about this is I've been playing Minecraft since probably 2010, 2011. And I didn't know about this till 29. So, I mean, the reason they changed this was because a fan had suggested it, and I'm so glad that that fan had suggested Minecraft, because if the game was called Cave Game, I feel like it doesn't roll off the tongue. Cave Game. I feel like Minecraft is such a simple but effective name. You know exactly what you're getting into when you download Minecraft. So I don't know if that guy is in the credits of Minecraft, but if he isn't, Mojang, please put that guy in the credits. He saved the game pretty much. Mob lightning effects. Lightning in Minecraft is like normal lightning. It hits the ground and nobody bats an eye. But the second it hits a person, oh, it's a bad guy? Okay. Lightning has a natural chance of spawning a skeleton horse trap. And pretty much what this skeleton horse trap is, if you go near it, you'll see one skeleton horse. If you go near it, it'll pop out a bunch of skeleton horses, as well as skeletons riding the horses. All you really have to do is kill these skeletons riding the horses, and then you could just steal the horses. And there's really nothing special about the horses other than their skeletons. So if you want a cool ass horse, that's a way you can do it. But in all actuality, they don't change anything. Next, we have probably the most known effect caused by lightning, that if a creeper gets struck by lightning, it turns into a charge creeper, which, this shit, it does damage. Like, just look at these clips. And it pretty much marks the end to any mob, player, or structure that comes across it. Speaking of mobs being taken out by a charged creeper, if a skeleton, zombie, or spider gets blown up by a charged creeper, their heads drop. Next, we have the piglin zombie turning into a zombie piglin, a villager turning into a witch, and a mushroom turns into a brown mushroom, which I didn't know. I weirdly didn't know this until like 2021. And finally, I guess if a turtle gets struck by lightning, it drops a bull. Creepy discs. Now, this one is one I've been looking forward to. I love creepy shit. I love creepy, scary shit. And the fact that we have the creepy discs on this list is something I'm very much looking forward to. Minecraft is a horror game, and I will die on that hill. In this game, we have 2 creepy discs that will indeed spook your jams. I'll have them playing when the time comes, and that time is now. First, we have disc 13. The first of the creepy discs was created way back in the day and starts with a spooky bell-like sounds, very cave ambience-like. We can hear sounds like water dripping down from something and bows being shot in the distance. We then start to hear what sounds like clanks of rocks before going silent. Once coming back, we hear what sounds like TNT going off in the distance, with splashing followed by swimming. Then the sound of footsteps, obviously running. Then, nothing. The cave ambience takes over. It's very, very creepy, but in all actuality, it's not that bad since we can kind of guess what happened. So there's 2 stories, that people think of. They have the, it's a miner and he's in the cave, and then a skeleton comes up and he shoots at him. In order to escape, he blows something up with TNT and then runs. We hear him flicking a flint and steel, which is probably a flint and steel, so we can assume that that's maybe what he's doing. It could also be a creeper coming to attack him. And since he got to a place of no return, he had to either die there or he jumped. And what he did was he jumped and then he ran out, or he ran. We don't see anything, but we hear him running. So potentially goes on to the next disc, which we have disc 11, which starts with static and a player running, clinking, which is probably that flint and steel from earlier, but it's not turning on. Coughing as he walks down the halls of the cave, flipping through a book. We can hear things in the background catching up to him. He continues to run, faster, faster, dirt, and it ends. A lot of theories come on these 2 discs because they're so old at this point and they're so popular. And I and a lot of people believe that disc 11 takes place right after disc 13 because the way they hold up, they pretty much come right after each other. And it ends with him getting out of that cave, which in my opinion is just really, really cool, because if you guys don't know, disc 13 was in the alpha. We had it in the Minecraft alpha soundtrack, and then we had Minecraft beta soundtrack. We had disc 11 in there, so these were a few years apart, and yet it just fits together so well. Igloo basement. Igloo basement is kind of a silly one since it's kind of self-explanatory. It's a basement of an igloo. Igloos can be found in snowy biomes, and pretty much in these biomes, there's not a lot of stuff. So you have these igloos that if you go down in the basement, you'll see things like a bed, a crafting table, a brew stations, a furnace, just a bunch of different things. And sometimes I think there's also a chest in there. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. A lot of people think that these are starter kits for just anyone unlucky enough to spawn in one of these biomes. I don't know. World border. Earlier we talked about the far lands. Now we'll talk about the world border, which is the current way that Mojang limits players from exceeding a limit too far that will break the game. Now you can technically get past this barrier with commands, but we're going to just talk about vanilla Minecraft. These borders are usually 30 million blocks out, and you'd have to walk in a straight direction for looks like over a year of walking 6 hours a day. Damn. Anyways, loading tips. Loading tips, and I'm sorry these ones are getting short, they're just not very interesting. We have loading tips is next. Loading tips started on the Xbox 360 and PS3 version of Minecraft, but ever since the end of that, it was changed over to the Bedrock edition of the game. So in Bedrock edition, while loading up into a world, it'll usually give you a tip saying like, did you know if you do this, or a little fun fact about the game that just adds a little bit of funniness to the video game. Pink sheep. The pink sheep, no, not that one, is the rarest mod in the game. I mean, technically. It has around a 0.15% chance of spawning naturally in the world, and I didn't think it was that low because I feel like I've had worlds where I've had like 2 or 3 and like caught. Like I've caught 2 or 3 pink sheeps just chillaxing around just because I felt like they were like at like a 3% chance, but like 0.15% chance is pretty rare, and I haven't seen one in a very long time, so maybe I just used up all of my luck there. Bedrock's marketplace. Now we talked about this earlier with the behavior packs and how you have to buy stuff. There's nothing a company loves more than money. So how exactly do you make more money on a game like Minecraft? Well, that's simple. You take away things that's free on other versions of the game, and then you charge players for it. What do I mean by this? Well, if you want a simple texture pack or resource pack, that'll be $10 US, or about 1,000 mine coins. This and a lot of other things can be found on the marketplace. You can find things from cosmetics, map packs, resource packs, and the such. These are all free on the Java version of the game, and pretty much give a middle finger to anyone playing on Bedrock Edition because they are overpriced. Like, look at this. A lot of these are for $10 or more. So you're telling me I'm paying $30 for a game and then I have to pay upwards of another $30 to $40 in order to get the cosmetics I'd like to put on my character? That's crazy. Bedrock Beta / Pocket Edition. These are another one that's like kind of two on the list, but I put them together because they actually do kind of go together. So we're going to put this simple. We're going to make this super simple. Pocket Edition ran off of the Bedrock engine. A very old version of it. It's how it was able to run on a phone back in 2012, 2011. Now, because of this, the game was kind of on the weaker side. There wasn't as much content and it kind of divided the player base. So when Mojang wanted to make a way so that everyone can play together, that's when Bedrock Edition was born. During the release of Windows 10, Microsoft pushed the Windows 10 version of Minecraft, which ran on a more updated version of the Bedrock engine. This is what I assume when they talk about beta. Now, in all actuality, it was more of a demo. When I think of a beta, I think of 1.8. You know, I think of beta 1.8 Minecraft, which is extremely well put together. The beta for, you know, Bedrock Edition was kind of weak, if we're all going to be talking a little bit of factual. The next topic, technically put together, is Pocket Edition, and, well, if you've been fucking listening, you know that Pocket Edition was pretty much the phone version of Minecraft, and now it currently runs on a more modern version of the Bedrock version of the game, along with the Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, and the such. The original ran on a more unupdated version. It could only play with other Pocket Edition players, and it was very bare bones, and obviously it's a lot better now. Capes. This refers to capes, which turns a little bitch boy into a man. There's only a few ways to get capes. The easiest is by modding them into the game. There's mods that let you do this, and there's also clients that usually have like a cosmetic store. The only problem with these is you have to have said mod or said client in order to see other people's capes. The next way is Optifine, which technically is a mod, but it costs $10. So anybody using Optifine can see if you have the Optifine cape. The last free way, there was only one free way to get it, or technically only one free way to get it, and that was migrating your account. This is no longer possible, so you can no longer get the migration cape, but this was something that you could do. And the next is another impossible way, sadly, which is if you went to Minecon, they actually gave, for each Minecon you went to, they gave a different cape. And man, I want a way to get these types of capes again, because Mojang, these were so cool. Mostly like when you got to like the Enderman. This is such a beautiful looking cape, and they just don't have it in the game anymore because Minecons don't exist, which it just sucks. For the final way, if you give Mojang an idea or, you know, a suggestion, they might give you a cape. For example, ideas like redstone, horses, and pistons were actually mods or ideas suggested to Mojang. And when they became official, they gave the people who gave those mods or ideas, they gave them capes. Old Village. I don't want to go too much into this because we kind of already talked about villages and how broken they were before 1.14, but an old village pretty much existed. We're talking about pre 1.14 villages. They were very buggy because a lot of times iron golems and the such wouldn't spawn because of just something. They needed too much systems to be checked in order to spawn an iron golem. Now it's if you have a specific amount of villagers near each other, an iron golem would spawn. Back in the day, there was a bunch of different checks that had to be in place. This pretty much making it so iron golems wouldn't spawn and villagers would die. So a lot of times you'd go to a village and nobody would be there because they're all already dead. Demo. The Minecraft demo was 6-year-old Ethan's life before buying the game in 2012. While the demo does not exist anymore, it's just an old version of Minecraft. That's all it was. There was no multiplayer. It, ran on an old version of the game, but you could actually play it on the browser. I did remember that very much, is you could play the demo of Minecraft on the browser, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, that's pretty much it. Pretty much all it is. I mean, here's some gameplay in the background. I mean, it's very bare bones, but it was the demo. Debug screen. The debug screen is also more commonly known as the F3 menu. And the F3 screen, or the F3 menu, pretty much shows things like chords, FPS, your computer specs, the biome you're in, time of day, what day you're on, and a bunch of different debug settings. Now, I've heard that Jens actually does not think that you should use it, but in my opinion, I think it's perfectly fine to use. And if Bedrock gets to have a directions thing, then I feel like F3 menu is extremely viable, mostly for seeing things like FPS and such. I feel like all of those things are fine to use. Now, this only exists on the Java version of Minecraft. There is no F3 screen on the Bedrock edition, so if you're trying this as a Bedrock player, it doesn't work. Just turn over. You're not getting any action tonight. Note block sounds. Note blocks are blocks that play music when attacked or triggered by redstone. They're made up of 16 different instruments and 25 different pitches per instrument. I don't really know anything else to important to note other than that changing the block they're on changes the way they sound. I'm not good at these, so I'm gonna play a video real quick, not too long of it, but I'm gonna play a little bit of a video so that you guys can see what some people can make out of this. Lena Rain. Lena Rain is it sounds like, I'm not gonna say that, okay. Lena Rain is a 39-year-old American composer for Minecraft. She started back in the Nether update and has been with the game ever since. She's another freelancer, so she's done a lot of work on a bunch of other games like Celeste, Guild Wars 2, and obviously Minecraft. And that's about it. I don't want to go into her entire history just because I feel like this isn't that type of video, and I feel like it's a little weird if I did that. Critical hit. A critical hit is a hit that is gotten when falling and hitting an enemy at the same time. Some people used to think that this was actually gotten by jumping, but actually no, you had to be falling in order to get the critical hit. The attacks deal 150% of your base damage, so a diamond sword is obviously going to do 150% more damage, and it's just something that allows better players to do more damage. Now, obviously it's a lot more useful now that you're not able to just spam click, but even back in the day, it was extremely viable in killing things. Realms. Realms is the official server subscription for Minecraft. It's been in the game since 1.0, but was really pushed around 1.9. I don't remember ever seeing Realms until probably around 1.9. Realms are usually meant for a small group of friends with usually a max of 20 players per realm. Now, the reason for this is just because it's simply meant for people who want to play with their friends but don't want to buy an actual giant server that anyone can join. These are very private and you have to be invited in order to get into the server. For the most part, in my opinion, I don't think realms are worth it. I think you're better off spending the money on an actual server. That way you can have as many people join as you'd want. But again, if you don't want to deal with all of that and you want to get an easy subscription service in order to do that, then by all means, go ahead and buy Minecraft Realm. In that case, they're worth it. Bedrock featured servers. For the last topic on the server, we had official servers that are endorsed by Mojang that are on the Bedrock version of the game. Now, the reason for this is more kids play on the Xbox, PlayStation, just in general play on the Bedrock version of the game. So in order to protect those kids, they made these official featured servers, which are servers that follow the server TOS that Mojang put in place almost to the T. There are currently 5 featured servers, with, in my opinion, the most notable being the Hive, which is the only one I've actually ever heard about. And the other featured server that was very popular was Mineplex, but if you didn't know, Mineplex was shut down in late 2023 due to being a dying server. And, well, we're done. That's it for part 2 of the Iceberg. YouTube either hates my video or hates me, because they did not push my last video. With less than 2,000 impressions, there's a reason that video flopped. Now, I'm not going to give up on this series because I enjoy making it and I enjoy learning these things. So, if you also enjoyed this series, a like, a comment, and a subscribe would be extremely appreciated, because the dumbass robot that is controlling people's interactions on this platform doesn't understand what a good video looks like, because that video was a decent video. Anyways, thanks for watching.